Folks, the next game we are showing off needs no introduction, and if you look at my guest's shirt, you already know what we're seeing. It's Mass Effect 3, and I'm joined by Casey Hudson from BioWare here on set. Casey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Pretty big Comic-Con for you guys. Anyone who's here, you see just across the street from the convention center, you guys have your big banners up. You have sort of a hub there. What's going on over there?
Yeah, we've got it, we call it the BioWare base because it's Mass Effect 3. We've got Dragon Age 2 showing off a new DLC that they're doing, and then we also have Star Wars Tour. And so it's this sort of BioWare extravaganza. It's really cool. They've got, we've got characters walking around in costume. We've got the huge statue now of the villain from the Tour game. So if you're a fan of BioWare games, it's a really cool thing to come by and just see all this stuff. And also all the other fans that are in costume and just like wearing N7 shirts and stuff.
Yeah, you guys have been getting some good cosplayers for your characters out there? It's
amazing. Some of the people that come by have costumes that are as good as the ones that we've made for the show.
Really?
We had Tally come by from Mass Effect.
That's not an easy one to do.
That's a tough one to do. So I tweeted a picture of her checking out her own fan art. She's kind of at the fan art wall. We've got a huge wall of probably hundreds of fan art images that we've printed out and put up, kind of like an art gallery. So you can just kind of watch. We've got trailers playing and stuff. So as you're in line to come and play Mass Effect 3 and Tour and stuff like this, you can just walk in and actually play these things for the first time. So that's one great thing. But as you're in line, we've got lots of great things for people to check out.
That's very cool. And now for folks who aren't lucky enough to be here and to be able to get their hands on Mass Effect 3, we've got a demo for Mass Effect 3 to show off here today.
That's right.
So we're going to jump into that. So set it up for us. Where are we at, and what do you guys, what are we seeing here?
Well, this is from sort of in the middle of the game, and this is, Mass Effect 3 is a story about galactic war. So really the whole galaxy is at war. We kind of think of it as World War II on a galactic scale. Like every civilization is involved somehow, but the high-level story is that the Reapers, which are these kind of ancient, all-powerful machines, are here to a little malfunction there.
Yeah, a little binder clip went flying, folks. We're okay though. Good. We're uninjured and ready to forge onward, and intrepidly see what's going on here between Morden, Solus, and Commander Shepard.
But so the Reapers are here to harvest all organic life, and Commander Shepard, who's been talking about this threat for a long time, and no one would really believe Shepard. Now they're here, and it's a story that starts on the Earth and really expands out from there. And what you're doing in much of Mass Effect 3 is you're trying to really build a plan to take that fight back to the Reapers and get them away from, get them off of the Earth. So here, Commander Shepard is on an alien homeworld. This is a world of an alien called the Solarians, and they have a history with another race called the Krogans, where they were kind of involved in genetically engineering a disease that prevents the Krogans from reproducing. But here, there's a female that is actually cured of the disease, and Shepard's trying to rescue this female, get her out of there, and that would obviously have an impact on both civilizations. So it's kind of an example of how you're able to make decisions as you always are in a Mass Effect game, but now we can literally take the biggest pieces in the whole story, the whole Mass Effect universe, and let players move them around and smash them together and really decide how all of this stuff ends.
And that's what's really attractive to me about the game is that Krogan Solarian enmity that you're getting involved in is centuries old, and the actions you take are going to have effect for centuries to come. And you're doing all that, and you're getting the blasts. Are these mercenaries that we're taking out here?
Yeah, these are actually Cerberus troopers, and but it's true that the reason that we want to do not just really great improvements to combat, but we like to give players choice and give them relationships and people to actually care about, is that then when you are involved in really heated combat, that you care about what's going on and you care about these characters, and then you care about the choices that you make as well. So we have done a tremendous amount to really evolve the combat, and that's one of the great things about being here at Comic-Con is we're actually literally running thousands of people through the demo, and it is literally just a build of the game. There's nothing really different that we've done for Comic-Con here to make it better than it currently is. This is just how it is in the middle of development. So we have a lot of work left to do in terms of just controls and the moment-to-moment experience, but people are loving it. They're loving the tighter controls. You have the ability to move around a lot more.
And there's some weapon customization, which we're taking a look at here, and that's something that, swapping out ammo types and what are the sort of modifications you can make to your arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, so that's part of really deepening the RPG aspect. So we're looking at another side of that here where we're taking the way Mass Effect 1 and 2 worked in terms of your character progression, and we're really building that up through a system that can start where you left off with Mass Effect 2 or start at the very beginning. And we've got a whole bunch of new powers in there. A lot of the powers are just a lot more fun, a lot more interesting in gameplay and how they affect things both in and out of combat. So we're really deepening that aspect of it, giving players more choice.
What's one of your favorite new powers?
We've done a lot of things, even with existing powers, to make them just kind of tune them up as well. So we've got the Omni Blade, which is kind of a new heavy melee, and every class has the Omni Blade. So we're giving away Omni Blades here at the show. So we're actually seeing, hundreds of them out there. And,
I've seen some people with these inflatable orange, Omni Blades on their arms, just sort of walking around. They got their swag bag, they got their Omni Blade, big smile on their face.
That's right. So the Omni Blade is our new kind of blade weapon, but in Mass Effect style, it's kind of a tactile hologram. And so it's a really cool way to kind of do a stabbing attack up close, and it kind of works with how Shepard's able to move from cover to cover a lot better and really move around the environment. And then you can kind of combine that into a stealthy approach using the Omni Blade. But, all the different characters, all the different classes now have their own heavy melee. So for some classes, the soldier, for example, will have a kind of a stabbing motion with the Omni Blade. I believe Jesse has the Sentinel here, which is kind of a double stabbing attack with the Omni Blade.
Yeah, we just caught a glimpse of that earlier.
And even though everyone has the ability to use it, the heavy melees are different. So that's one of the really cool additions in terms of a new power, is that whatever class you play, your heavy melee, which you kind of build up the power by hanging onto the button and releasing it, right, like you see right there. If you're an adept, for example, it actually doesn't even use the Omni Blade because the adept is very much about biotics, and so they kind of build up a biotic punch that they can do that just blasts enemies back when they're at point blank range. So lots of really new things we're doing with the powers. So that there's new powers, lots of choices to make. But then, like you saw with the weapon bench there, we're giving players just a lot more to do in the game economy, things for you to buy and find and sell. And then you've got the weapon bench where you can literally put your weapon down, you can see it in detail, and then you can actually work on all the different mods and stuff like that change the look of it, but also change the function of it as well.
Right on, and that's one of the things that just another one of the sort of tools in your arsenal you guys are using to draw people in. I'm curious myself about the armor that Shepard's wearing right now. Appears to sort of have this holographic architecture in addition to the physical pads and stuff that he's wearing. Is that part of the customization? Is that part of the heavy Omni Blade equipment?
In this case, it's one of the Sentinel's powers. You can basically turn on an armor. Again, we've got the concept in the Mass Effect universe is these kind of tactile holograms, which at a higher power level can become like armor, or they can become like a blade. So that's what Shepard's wearing there, is this kind of holographic armor that you can turn on. and it's one of the modal powers that we have, and it's similar to how you can turn on different kind of for other classes like the soldier, you're able to turn on incendiary ammo and stuff like that as a just a mode on existing weapons. So lots of really new ways to play.
Now we're seeing, Mordin Solus, character from Mass Effect 2. Looked like maybe Liara was there from Mass Effect. She played a bigger role in the first than the second. But Mass Effect 3, like you were saying, is really all about bringing all that the series has been about together, and then just bringing it together and taking it to the next level. I mean, we're seeing a female Krogan,
right.
For probably one of the first times in the whole game.
That's
How
right.
has it been to just have all that stuff built up and to be able to release it here into the game?
Well, it's really cool because it's almost like a real place now, and for us, and I think maybe even more so for fans and players around the world, they know what the Mass Effect universe is, and you can almost think about it as a real place and things that you want to expand on and things that fans want us to expand on, and it kind of has its own logic and reason to it, and so it becomes really fun to think about the areas that we want to expand and add on. So that's what much of Mass Effect 3 is all about. And part of what really frees us up to be able to do that is that because this is, in a way, this is the end of the series, but at the same time, it's really the beginning of this huge new story that we're telling that then comes to a spectacular ending in Mass Effect 3 as well, is the story of the Galactic War. It all starts at the beginning of Mass Effect 3, it all ends at the end, and you're going to decide how it ends. So because we know that we're coming to a termination point, that's what actually frees us to let things end in a variety of different ways that become really divergent for players. So you have a lot more choice, you can move a lot, much bigger decisions around, and the impacts are enormous.
And you don't have to hold as much in reserve. I mean, you can burn plenty more bridges when you're coming to a huge climax like
that. That's right, yeah.
So a lot of people have obviously played the first two games in this series and, have their characters invested, have their save files on their preferred system. When you guys released Mass Effect 2 for the PS3, you had like a downloadable graphic sort of comic thing that allowed folks who didn't play the first one to get into the second one. Do you have any plans for something like that for Mass Effect 3?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the great things about what we learned with Mass Effect 2 is that on the PS3, we have so many people who've never played the first game, and they jumped in and they were able to really enjoy the series, not needing to know what happened before. And that's what we're trying to leverage as well for 3, is that there's a duality. Mass Effect 3 is really a payoff for people who've been playing the entire series. But at the same time, it is a very self-contained story, and that's one of the things that makes it really great, where Shepard is starting on the Earth. Everything builds out from there. So, any given movie or story or whatever might have a backstory. But in this case, you can start with 3 and really enjoy it. So we're gonna do things to bring players up to speed on the fiction, and to get them into